In the year 2147, the galaxy was mostly quiet. Stars burned in silence. Ships moved carefully along safe paths. Most species stayed close to their home systems. They did not like danger. They did not like surprises. Then, a small signal came. It was weak. It repeated again and again. The message traveled far across empty space. It reached many listening posts. The words were simple and clear in many languages. Help us. Our ship is broken. Life support is failing. We have little time left. Please come. We are the Calith Concord. Our colony ship is called Harmony's Reach. We are near a rogue neutron star. Coordinates attached. We cannot move. We will die soon if no one helps. The Calith were peaceful beings. They looked like tall plants that could walk. Their skin was thin and clear. They had soft leaf-like parts on their heads. They lived best in warm, bright places, with low gravity. They grew food with light. They did not like hard work or danger. Their ships were beautiful, like big green gardens floating in space. But this time, their garden was dying. The signal reached Earth last. Earth was far from the neutron star. It took many days for the message to arrive. On Earth, people still lived on a rough planet. A planet with storms, volcanoes, deep oceans, high mountains, and wild animals. Humans came from a death world. They were strong. They could live in heat, cold, high gravity, low air. They laughed when things went wrong. They fixed problems with their hands and their minds. The Soul Defense Network received the message. Big screens showed the words. Officers sat in quiet rooms. They read the coordinates. They looked at the distance. They saw the danger. One admiral shook his head. Too far, he said. Too much risk. Not our problem. Another officer agreed. The Calith never helped us. Why help them now? We have our own colonies to protect. But not everyone fought the same way. In a small office at the edge of the fleet base, Captain Daniel Hayes read the message 3 times. He was 42 years old, tall, strong shoulders, short brown hair, a small scar above his left eye from an old fight. He commanded the heavy cruiser Endurance. His ship was not the newest, it was not the biggest, but it was tough. It had thick armor, strong engines, a crew that trusted him. Daniel leaned back in his chair. He smiled a little. His executive officer walked in. Lieutenant Commander Lauren Brooks. She was 36. Short black hair, sharp green eyes, always calm, even in bad situations. She carried a tablet. You saw it? She asked. Daniel nodded. I saw it. Lauren put the tablet on the desk. The Calith ship has 4,300 people on board. Mostly civilians, families, children. Their oxygen will run out in about 12 days, maybe less. Daniel looked at the star map on the wall. The neutron star was marked in red. A dangerous zone. Gravity fields that could tear ships apart. Radiation. Strange waves that broke machines. Most feats will not go, Lauren said. They say it is impossible. Daniel stood up. He walked to the window. Outside, Earth turned slowly. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land. A beautiful, deadly world. Then we go, he said. Lauren raised one eyebrow. Alone? Alone, Daniel answered. No need for a big fleet. Just one ship. Fast, strong, ready. Lauren smiled. The crew will like that. Daniel turned to her. Call them. Tell them we leave in 24 hours. Destination, the neutron star. Purpose, answer a distress call. Lauren nodded and left the room. Word spread fast on the Endurance. Sailors and engineers talked in the halls. Mechanics stopped their work and listened. Pilots checked their shuttles. Doctors prepared medical kits. No one was afraid. They were excited. In the engine room, engineer Maria Lopez wiped oil from her hands. She was small, but very strong. A Deathworld crew answering a call from Leaf People, she said with a laugh. This will be fun. Her friend Kevin Patel worked next to her. He was tall and quiet. "They think gravity at 1.1 g is heavy," he said. "They will faint when they see us lift things." In the Marine barracks, Lieutenant Ryan Carter cleaned his rifle. He was young, 29, short blonde hair, always ready to move. "We go in, fix what we can, get 'em out," he told his team. Simple job. His soldiers nodded. They knew it would not be simple, but they did not care. On the bridge, Daniel stood in front of the big screen. The crew gathered. Officers, engineers, doctors, pilots, Marines. All of them looked at their captain. He spoke in a clear voice. 4,300 lives are ending in 12 days. They asked for help. Most of the galaxy will not answer. We will. We are not heroes. We are just people from a hard planet. We know how to survive. We know how to fix things. We know how to carry heavy loads when others cannot. That is why we go. He looked at every face. This is not an order. Anyone who does not want to come can stay. No shame. But if you stay, you miss something big. No one moved. No one spoke. They only looked back at him. Daniel smiled. Good. We jump at 0600 tomorrow. Get ready. The crew went to work. Tools clanged. Engines hummed. Supplies were loaded. Medical teams checked drugs and bandages. Shuttle pilots tested controls. Everyone moved fast. In the quiet hours before jump, Daniel sat alone on the bridge. The stars looked cold outside. He thought about the Caliph. Fragile, scared, waiting in the dark. He thought about Earth. Storms that destroyed cities, deserts that burned skin, oceans that swallowed ships, cold winters, hot summers. Humans lived through all of it. They built houses, they grew food, they laughed, they fought, they kept going. A death world. And now Deathworlders were coming. Daniel touched the controls. The ship felt alive under his hands. Endurance, he said softly. Let's go save some lives. The lights dimmed. The engines began to warm up. The countdown started. Far away, on the broken colony ship, the Caliph waited. Their leaves drooped. Their lights flickered. They held each other in silence. They did not know who would come. They did not know that help was already on the way. And they did not know that the ones who answered were born on the most dangerous world in the galaxy. The heavy cruiser Endurance dropped out of warp with a soft hum. Stars snapped back into sharp points. Right in front of them floated the Harmony's Reach. The big colony ship looked broken and sad. Its long green sails hung in pieces like torn leaves. Lights blinked weak and yellow along the hull. Dark patches showed where air had leaked out into space. The neutron star glowed far behind it, a hard white point that pulled at everything with invisible hands. On the bridge, Captain Daniel Hayes stood with his arms crossed. He watched the screens. Numbers scrolled fast. Radiation levels high. Gravity waves twisting. The anomaly field danced around both ships like slow lightning. Distance to target, 300 meters, said the navigation officer. We are stable. Daniel nodded. Good. Launch the shuttles. First team goes now. Down in the hangar bay, Lieutenant Ryan Carter checked his team. 5 Marines in heavy gray suits. 2 engineers. All of them carried tool bags, welding kits, and medical packs. Their helmets had clear faceplates. Lights on their shoulders cut through the dark. Ryan looked at Maria Lopez and Kevin Patel. Maria was short and quick. She already had her welding torch in hand. Kevin was tall. He carried the biggest tool bag. Both of them smiled under their helmets. Ready? Ryan asked. Born ready, Maria said. Kevin just nodded. The shuttle doors opened. Cold air rushed in. The small craft pushed out into the black. It crossed the empty space fast. Magnetic clamps locked on to the Harmony's Reach airlock. A green light blinked. The outer door slid open. Inside, the air was thick and warm. It smelled like wet plants and burning wires. The lights were dim. Red emergency strips glowed on the floor. The gravity felt light. Only about 70% of Earth normal. The humans felt strong. Almost too strong. Ryan led the way. His boots made soft thuds. The team followed close. They passed empty corridors. Plants grew along the walls, but many were brown and dead. Small Caliph bodies lay still in some corners. Others moved slow, holding on to rails. The first living Caliph they saw stood at the end of the hall. Tall, thin, skin like pale green glass. Long leaf crests on its head drooped low. Big dark eyes looked at the humans. The being wore a simple robe. It held a small device that looked like a broken translator. Ryan stopped. He raised one hand, palm out. Slow, calm. "We are from Earth," he said. "We heard your call. We came to help." The translator crackled. It caught only some words. The Caliph tilted its head. Then it spoke in a soft voice, like wind through leaves. "Help came?" The device tried to translate. "You are the ones." Ryan took off his helmet. The air felt strange on his face, thin, warm, full of plant smell. He breathed deep. "No problem. We are here to fix your ship. Show us where it hurts most." The Caliph stepped back. Its leaf crests shook. More Caliph appeared from side doors. They stared. Some held small children close. The children had tiny leaf buds on their heads. Their eyes were wide. One older Caliph stepped forward. Its robe had gold lines. It looked important. The translator worked better now. "I am Lirveth," it said, "ambassador of this vessel. You, remove your helmet. In our air, you do not fall. You do not choke." Ryan smiled a little. "Our world has worse air sometimes. Dust storms, smoke, thin mountain air. We are used to it." Lirveth looked at the other humans. They stood tall, broad. Their suits looked heavy, but they moved easy in the low gravity. No shaking, no sweat yet. "You are Deathworlders," Lirveth said. The word came slow, like it was new and scary. Ryan shrugged. "We just call ourselves human." Maria stepped up. She pointed to a panel on the wall. Sparks jumped from it. "That looks like a power relay. It's fried. We can start there." Kevin already opened his tool bag. He pulled out thick cables and a scanner. Lirveth watched. "Our engineers tried. The anomaly, it breaks everything. Gravity pulls wrong. Machines fail." "Then we work fast," Ryan said, "before it gets worse." The team moved. They split up. Maria and Kevin went to the power room. Ryan and the Marines followed Lirveth to the main bridge. The bridge was round. Big windows showed the neutron star. Consoles blinked red. Caliph crews sat at stations. They looked tired, weak. Daniel Hayes' voice came through the comms in their helmets. "Team, status." Ryan touched his ear. "We are inside. Air is breathable. Locals are scared but talking. Starting repairs now." "Good," Daniel said. "We are holding position. Radiation climbing. You have maybe 10 hours before the field gets too strong. Make 'em count." Ryan looked at Lirveth. "Your people need food, water, medicine?" Lirveth shook its head slow. "We have some left, but the gardens die. No light, no clean water cycles." Maria's voice came over the comms. "Captain, we found the main fusion feed. It's twisted. Gravity shear bent the coils. We can patch it, but we need to pull the old core out first." Daniel answered quick. "Do it. We can send over a spare module from our auxiliary bay if you need." On the Harmony's reach, the humans worked. They moved heavy panels with easy strength. Caliph watched in silence. One young engineer, thin and pale green, stood close to Maria. It stared as she lifted a metal plate that weighed more than two of its kind. "You carry that alone?" the young one asked. Maria grunted. "Yeah. Back home we lift heavier things every day. Tractors, beams, people who fall off roofs." The young Caliph blinked. "Your world hurts you?" Maria laughed soft. "Sometimes, but we hurt back." Kevin worked nearby. He sweated now. The room was hot from leaking coolant. His suit fans hummed loud. He wiped his face on his sleeve. A Caliph offered him a water pouch. Kevin took it, drank deep. "Thank you," he said. The Caliph looked surprised. "You drink our water?" Kevin smiled. "Tastes like grass. Not bad." More Caliph came closer. They watched. They asked questions in low voices. The humans answered simple. They did not stop working. Ryan stayed on the bridge. He helped Learveth read damage reports. The screens showed bad news. Hull cracks spreading. Oxygen at 15%. Engines dead. "We can restart your drives," Ryan said, "but we need time." Learveth looked at him. Its eyes were big and dark. "Why do you come? Alone. No other ships. No reward." Ryan thought for a second. "Because you asked, and because if we did not come, you would die. That is reason enough." Learveth was quiet. Then it spoke soft. "You're kind. You smile when you work. Even when it is hard. Even when danger is close." Ryan looked out the window. The neutron star burned cold and bright. "We smile because we are still alive, and because we can fix things. That is what Deathworlders do." Outside, the anomaly field twisted stronger. The two ships shook a little. Lights flickered. In the power room, Maria burned her hand on a hot pipe. She cursed once, then kept working. Kevin passed her a cold pack. She wrapped it quick and went back to welding. The Caliph watched everything. They saw humans bleed. They saw humans sweat. They saw humans keep going. And slowly, very slowly, fear turned to wonder. The Deathworlders had come, and they were not leaving until the job was done. The inside of Harmony's Reach felt hotter every hour. Coolant leaked from cracked pipes. Steam hissed in the dark corners. Red lights flashed on every wall. The gravity waves from the anomaly pulled and pushed in strange ways. Sometimes the floor felt heavy. Sometimes it felt like floating. Tools slid across decks if no one held them. Maria Lopez crawled into the main drive chamber. The space was tight, metal walls pressed close. She wore only the top half of her suit now. The bottom part stayed outside because the heat was too much. Sweat ran down her face and arms. She held a scanner in one hand and a plasma cutter in the other. The fusion core sat in the center like a big twisted egg. The anomaly had bent it. Thick coils looked like someone had squeezed them hard. Blue sparks jumped between broken wires. Radiation alarms beeped soft in her earpiece. "Kevin," she said into her comm, "get in here. I need another set of hands." Kevin Patel squeezed through the narrow hatch. He was bigger. His shoulders scraped the sides. He carried a heavy jack and thick cables. His face was red from the heat. He breathed hard, but kept moving. "Looks worse up close," he said. Maria pointed to the worst bend. "We have to straighten this coil first, then bypass the damaged feed lines. If we don't, the whole core will shut down for good." Kevin set the jack under the coil. He pumped the handle slow. Metal groaned. The coil moved a little. Then it stopped. The gravity wave hit again. The floor tilted. Kevin lost balance for a second, but caught himself. Outside the chamber, Lieutenant Ryan Carter stood guard. He helped Caliph crew move supplies. They carried small boxes of tools and spare parts. The aliens moved slow. Their thin bodies shook in the changing gravity. Ryan lifted boxes that three of them struggled with together. One Caliph, a young engineer named Tiravan, watched him. Her leaf crests stood up a little, curious. "You lift that like it is nothing," she said through her translator. "Our strongest workers cannot do that." Ryan set the box down easy. "Our world has one full gravity all the time, sometimes more when we train. This feels light to us." Tiravan looked at his arms. Muscles moved under the skin, no tremble. "Your bodies, they do not break easy." Ryan smiled. "They break, but we fix them. Then we keep going." Back in the drive chamber, Maria burned away old seals. Sparks flew like tiny stars. She ignored the heat on her hands. Blisters formed. She wrapped them quick with tape and kept working. "Captain," she said into comms, "we need that spare antimatter pod from Endurance. The Calith core is too damaged to restart clean. We can hook yours in as a jump start." Daniel Hayes' voice came back steady. "Sending it now. Shuttle will arrive in 15 minutes. Be ready to receive." On the bridge of Harmony's Reach, Learveth stood next to Daniel. The human captain had come across in a small shuttle. He wore no suit now, just ship coveralls. The air felt thick to him, but he did not complain. Learveth watched the big window. The neutron star burned bright. The anomaly field looked like slow blue fire around both ships. "Your people work without rest," Learveth said. "They bleed, they burn, yet they laugh." Daniel nodded. "We come from a place that tries to kill us every day. Hurricanes, earthquakes, cold that freezes lungs, heat that cooks skin. After that, a hot room and some sparks feel normal." Learveth turned its dark eyes to him. "Why risk so much? We are strangers." "Because you called," Daniel said simply, "and because no one else would come." The shuttle arrived. Marines carried the heavy antimatter pod inside. It was round and silver. Thick cables hung from it. Kevin and Maria dragged it to the core chamber. They worked fast. Tools clanged. Voices shouted directions. "Left clamp first," Maria called. "Got it," Kevin answered. They connected cables. Sparks flew bigger now. The room lit up blue. Radiation alarms screamed louder. Kevin coughed. His eyes watered. He wiped them and kept going. A gravity wave hit hard. The whole ship shook. A bulkhead cracked open. Air hissed out. Ryan's team ran to seal it. They sprayed rapid seal foam. White foam grew fast and hard. The hiss stopped. In the chamber, Maria pulled the last damaged coil free. It fell with a loud clang. She dragged the new pod into place. Her hands shook now. Blisters broke. Blood mixed with sweat. "Almost there," she said through gritted teeth. Kevin helped her bolt it down. His shirt stuck to his back. Sweat dripped from his chin. He breathed like he ran miles. "Connection complete," he said. "Power feed in 3, 2, 1. A low hum started. Lights flickered brighter. The core woke up slow. Green indicators blinked on consoles. Maria sat back against the wall. She closed her eyes for a second. Then she smiled. "We did it," she said. Kevin laughed soft. "Told you we could." Outside, Calith gathered at the chamber door. They stared. Some held leaves over their mouths. Shock. Wonder. One old Calith whispered to Learveth, "They should be dead many times over. Yet they live. They fix what we cannot." Learveth stepped inside. It looked at Maria and Kevin. Both humans sat on the floor now. Tired. Hurt. But alive. Smiling. "You have saved our heart," Learveth said. "The ship breathes again." Maria wiped blood from her hand. "Not done yet. Hull patches next." Then engines full power. Kevin stood up slow. His legs shook a little. "Let's go." Ryan met them in the hall. He carried more tools. "Heard you got the core online. Good work." Maria stood. "Your turn to sweat, Lieutenant." Ryan grinned. "Wouldn't miss it." The team moved to the outer decks. Hull breaches let cold space in. Stars looked close through the cracks. The humans worked with foam guns and metal plates. They welded in low gravity. Bodies floated sometimes when waves hit. They grabbed rails and kept going. Caliph helped where they could. They passed tools, held lights, watched in silence as humans ignored pain and cold. One breach was big. Air rushed out fast. Ryan tied a safety line around his waist. He leaned out into space. Vacuum pulled at him. His suit hardened. He sprayed foam. The white cloud grew and sealed the hole. He pulled back inside, face red, breathing hard. Learveth waited. You went into the void. Without fear. Ryan took off his helmet. Fear is there, but the job needs doing. Hours passed. The ship stopped shaking so much. Lights stayed steady. Air recyclers hummed stronger. Oxygen climbed to 30%. Daniel stood on the bridge again. He looked at the screens. Damage reports turned green one by one. Team, he said into comms, you have given them a chance. Now we get them out. Maria's voice came back, tired but strong. Copy that, Captain. We're coming home. In the corridors, Caliph gathered. They touched the humans as they passed. Gentle, thankful. Small leaf crests lifted high for the first time. The Deathworlders had done the impossible. They had not just answered the call. They had brought life back to a dying ship. The anomaly field started to close. Blue energy waves pulled tighter around the two ships. Metal groaned under the pressure. Lights on Harmony's Reach flickered again. The neutron star burned brighter in the distance, like an angry eye watching them struggle. On the bridge of Endurance, Captain Daniel Hayes watched the screens. Red warnings flashed, gravity shear increasing, hull stress at 87%. He spoke calm into the comms. Team, the field is collapsing. We have minutes, not hours. Get ready to move. Down in the lower decks of Harmony's Reach, Maria Lopez and Kevin Patel finished the last engine link. Their hands were black with grease. Blisters covered their fingers. Maria's left hand shook a little when she tightened the final bolt. Engines online, she said into her comm, but they will not take full power without help. Kevin leaned against the wall. Sweat soaked his shirt. We need to stay. Manual overrides on the safeties. If we leave, the core will shut down again. Ryan Carter stood nearby. He checked his safety line. Then we stay. Marines will hold the corridors. Engineers run the show. Learveth entered the chamber. Its leaf crests drooped low. You must leave. The ship will break soon. We cannot lose more lives. Maria looked up. We are not leaving until your people are safe. That is the deal. Daniel's voice cut in. Endurance to all teams. We are grappling now. Magnetic locks engaging. Tractor beams at full power. Outside, thick cables shot from Endurance. They clamped onto Harmony's Reach hull with loud clangs. Blue energy fields wrapped both ships together. The small human cruiser looked tiny next to the big colony ship, but its engines roared loud. The pull began, slow at first, then harder. The anomaly fought back. Gravity waves slammed into the linked ships. Harmony's Reach shook hard. Air hissed from new small holes. Inside, the humans did not stop. Ryan's Marines braced against walls. They held rails with strong hands. When a deck plate buckled, they pushed it back into place with shoulders and backs. Maria and Kevin ran to the engine control room. Consoles sparked. Screens showed danger. Kevin sat at one station. He typed fast. Maria stood at another. She pulled levers by hand when buttons failed. Override safeties, Kevin said. Manual thrust in 10 seconds. Maria nodded. Ready. The burn started. Engines screamed. Inertial dampeners on Harmony's Reach flickered. The ship lurched forward. People inside floated for seconds. Caliph cried out in fear. Humans grabbed anything close. They held tight. Maria's feet left the floor. She grabbed a pipe. Pain shot through her burned hands. She did not let go. Kevin floated too. He hooked one leg under a chair. His fingers flew over controls. Thrust at 60%. Holding. Outside, Endurance pulled harder. Its shields flared bright white against the anomaly's blue fire. Armor plates bent. One section cracked open. Sparks flew into space. Daniel stood firm on his bridge. Increase pull, give them everything. Lauren Brooks at navigation answered quick. Tractors at max. Engines redlining. The ships moved faster. The anomaly field twisted like a storm. Waves hit hard. Harmony's reach rolled once. Inside, furniture slid. Plants broke from walls. Caliph held each other. Children cried. Ryan ran through a corridor. A bulkhead fell. He caught it with both arms. Muscles strained. Veins stood out on his neck. He pushed it back up. Marines helped. Together they braced it. Keep moving, Ryan shouted. We are almost out. In the engine room, Maria felt heat rise. Coolant lines burst. Steam burned her arm. She screamed once, then bit her lip and kept working. Maria, I am fine, she said through teeth. Just keep the power steady. Another wave hit. The ship spun. Gravity flipped. Humans fell to what used to be the ceiling. They climbed back. No time to rest. Learveth came to the control room. It watched the humans, their faces red, breathing hard, eyes sharp, no panic. You endure, Learveth said soft, like nothing I had seen. Daniel's voice came over comms again. Field edge in 30 seconds. Hold on. The stars ahead grew clearer. The blue energy faded a little. The pull from the neutron star weakened. Maria pushed one last lever. Full power now. Engines roared louder. Harmony's reach surged forward. Endurance matched it. The link ships broke free. The anomaly snapped shut behind them like closing jaws. A final wave lashed out. It hit Endurance hard. Shields collapsed. Hull breached in 3 places. Alarms screamed on the human bridge. But they were out. Stars shone normal again. No more twisting gravity. No more blue fire. Silence fell. On Harmony's Reach Bridge, Caliph stood still. They looked out windows. The neutron star was small now. Far away. Safe. Learveth walked to Daniel. The human captain had come across again. He stood with arms crossed, sweat on his face, a small cut on his forehead from flying debris. Learveth bowed low. Leaf crest touched the floor. You pulled us from death. Your ship is hurt. Your people bleed, yet you stand. Daniel wiped blood from his eye. We stand because we can. Your people are alive. That is what matters. Learveth looked at the other humans nearby. Maria sat on the floor, arm wrapped in a bandage. Kevin leaned on a console. Ryan helped a Caliph child stand up. You laugh at danger, Learveth said. You bleed and keep working. You carry what we cannot. Why? Daniel thought for a moment. Our world taught us. If you stop, you die. So we do not stop. We fix. We carry. We answer when called. Learveth was quiet. Then it spoke again. The galaxy will hear of this. A single Deathworld ship saved thousands. Alone. Daniel shrugged. We did what we do. In the halls, Caliph touched human shoulders gentle. They offered water, clean leaves for bandages, small gifts of light crystals from their gardens. Maria drank deep. Tastes better now, she said with a tired smile. Kevin sat next to her. We made it. Ryan walked past. He clapped them on the back. Good work, team. The 2 ships floated together in calm space. Repairs would come. Wounds would heal. But for now, they rested. Far away, faint signals carried the story. Ships listened. Stations recorded. The name Deathworlders spread quiet at first, then louder. Humans from Earth had come. They had pulled life from the dark. And they had not asked for thanks. They had just done it. Because that is who they were. The 2 ships drifted in calm space for many days. Stars shone bright and steady. No more blue fire from the anomaly. No more shaking decks. Endurance had deep scars on its hull. Harmony's Reach looked patched and tired, but both ships lived. Air flowed clean. Lights stayed on. People breathed easy. Repair teams worked side by side. Human engineers showed Caliph how to weld stronger seams. Caliph shared their light crystals to help heal human burns. Maria Lopez sat with Tiravan one quiet night. They drank warm plant tea. Maria's hands were wrapped in soft green leaves. The leaves cooled her blisters. "You saved us," Tiravan said. "We thought no one would come." Maria smiled, tired. "We came because you asked. Simple as that." Kevin Patel walked past. He carried a box of spare parts. He stopped and looked at them. "Your gardens will grow again," he told Tiravan. "We fixed the water cycles. You will see green soon." Tiravan's leaf crests lifted high. "Because of Deathworlders." Kevin laughed soft. "Just call us friends now." On the bridge of Endurance, Captain Daniel Hayes looked at reports. His ship needed dry dock, new armor plates, fresh coolant, but it could fly home. Lauren Brooks stood next to him. She checked fuel levels. "We did it," she said, quiet. Daniel nodded. "We did." He sent a message to Earth. Short words: mission success. All lives saved. Returning with guests. Back on Harmony's Reach, Learveth gathered its people in the main garden hall. Plants were still brown in places, but new buds showed green tips. Calyx sat in circles. Children played slow. Adults spoke in low voices. Learveth stood in the center. "We were lost," it said. "The dark took our light. Then the Deathworlders came. They carried our pain. They bled for us. They laughed when we feared. Yet they chose to help." The Caliph listened. Some touched their leaf crests. Others held small crystals that glowed soft. "We will remember," Learveth said. "We will tell the stars." The humans answered when no one else would. A young Caliph stood up. "Will they visit us again?" Learveth looked toward the window. Endurance floated close, small and strong. "I believe they will, when we call, or when they need us." Months passed. The story spread slow through the galaxy, first in quiet messages between ships, then in open channels. Caliph poets wrote long songs. They called the humans loud softskins who smile at death. Traders spoke of the single cruiser that pulled thousands from a trap. Other species listened. Some laughed, some wondered, some felt afraid. On Earth, life went on. Daniel Hayes received a small medal in a quiet room. No big parade, just a handshake from an admiral and a few words. "Well done, Captain." Daniel went home to a small house by the mountains. He sat on the porch, watched snow fall, thought about the Caliph children, their big eyes, their fear turning to trust. Ryan Carter married Maria Lopez in a little town in the hills. Friends came, family too. They ate good food, drank cold drinks, laughed loud. Kevin Patel stood as best man. He told stories about hot engine rooms and stubborn coils. Everyone cheered. Lauren Brooks asked for another deep space ship. She wanted the long runs, the quiet stars. She said goodbye to her team with hugs. "See you out there," she told them. Years went by. One day a new distress call came, this time from a human mining outpost on a rough moon. Pirates attacked, shields down, oxygen low, families trapped. The call went out across many systems. Most ships were too far. Some said it was too dangerous. Others waited for orders. But one fleet answered fast. Sleek green ships with bright sails. Caliph rescue vessels. They jumped quick, arrived before anyone else. They sent a message in clear English. "You came for us once. Now we return the call." The Caliph ships moved in. They used gentle beams to pull damaged structures free. They sent teams inside. Tall, thin beings with leaf crests carried stretchers. They gave air masks. They spoke soft words. They worked careful but fast. Human survivors stared. They knew the old stories. They had heard about the Harmony's reach. Now they saw it with their own eyes. One miner, an old woman with gray hair, took Learveth's thin hand. "You came," she said, tears in her eyes. Learveth bowed low, because friends answer. The pirates ran when they saw the green ships. They knew the tales too. Deathworlders had friends now. Strong friends. Quiet friends. Friends who remembered. Back in space, word traveled again. Humans and Caliph, linked by one hard day long ago. The galaxy felt a little smaller, a little safer. Daniel Hayes heard the news on his porch. He smiled, raised a cup of coffee to the stars. Lauren Brooks, on her new ship, read the report. She laughed quiet. They kept their word. Ryan and Maria, now with a small son, watched the stars from their backyard. The boy pointed up. "Are those the Leaf people, Dad?" Ryan nodded. "Yeah, good people." Maria held the boy close. "They learned from us, and we learned from them." The void was big, cold, empty in places. But it was not silent anymore. Calls went out, answers came back. From Deathworlders, from their quiet friends. They endured, they helped. They never quite explained why they smiled when everything should have ended. They just did. Because some things were worth it, and because once, long ago, a small signal crossed the dark.